Well, good Monday morning to you. We're so glad you decided to join us on this Monday in January where it's cool outside, but it is warm in here, Clyde.
Almost as cold as it was the day we shot that opening segment, but I'm not bitter, Mona. I'm not bitter.
I think you're bitter. I think you are Mr. Bitterman when it comes to having
For real.
When we shot that.
For real. Hey, Mona, you know, we're all focused on vaccines now, and I have a story that's slightly left of center about the whole vaccine issue. It's how a vaccine made Mary Poppins fly. Now, this is something that I heard on NPR last week on their Story Course segment. This is the son of one of the two guys, the Sherman brothers, who wrote a number of songs for Walt Disney. And one of their tasks was to write a song for Mary Poppins that would kind of symbolize who the character was, say something about her personality and that sort of thing. And they just couldn't get it. They were struggling. They were having a very difficult time. In fact, the young man, the gentleman who related the story talked about how his father seemed to be depressed because they just couldn't find the right song. So he comes home from school one day and he says, "Dad, I took a polio vaccine today." And the father said, "Wait, hold it. You got a shot today?" He said, No. I didn't get a shot. What they did was put the vaccine on a sugar cube and then they gave us the sugar. Boom. Guess what the song was, Mona?
Just a spoonful of sugar.
Bingo.
Makes the medicine go down. It does help the medicine go down, a spoonful of sugar.
I know, but isn't that just a great story about how it's an unusual way. You would never have thought that a song would come from a polio vaccine on a sugar cube, which, by the way, happened back when you and I were kids, and they were just coming up with electricity and all that, that good stuff.
That's right. You know what? I don't remember having to take medicine with sugar. My mom I don't remember her adding sugar to any of our medicine. So especially, I don't remember a vaccine with sugar either. So, yeah, we had to take it straight so that it would work immediately.
Well, this was a public vaccine campaign back when polio was the big issue medically. And I remember we did it in school. And apparently this young man did it as well. They would give you the little sugar cube in one of those little plastic paper cups, and you'd take the sugar cube, you'd chew the sugar cube, and in the process get the vaccine. So amazing how that came about.
Well, you're quite a bit older than me, so you may remember that better than I would have. But you know what? Here's a quick fun fact about Mary Poppins. It took almost 20 years for that movie to get made. Nearly 20 years.
Wow.
I know. There's a whole story behind it, but that's for another time, Clyde.
Okay, maybe we'll do a Who Knew segment on Mary Poppins. So Mona, right. I got a question for you, and by extension, those of you at home in our audience. How are those New Year's resolutions about your finances holding up? Are you making your money behave, or do you find yourself right where you were at the end of last year? No worse, but no better either. Well, we've got some help for you, and it comes in the form of Al Riddick, the president of Game Time Budgeting, our favorite guru on finances. Al, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Clyde. Good to see you again.
Yes, indeed. Good to see you, too. So most people set those New Year's resolutions that have something to do with money. What are your thoughts about that?
First of all, Clyde, we have to stop screwing ourselves. So let me explain what I mean by that.
Please.
Most of the time, when we set a New Year's resolutions, we say something like, I'm going to try to save more money, or I'm going to try to pay down debt, or I'll try to put more money towards my retirement. The word try implies that failure is an option, Clyde. So I always tell people, commit, don't just try.
All right, so that's one tip. What are some other simple tips you have that can, kind of help people reach their financial goals in 2021?
Yes, sir. Tip number one, first of all, we have to turn big goals into small goals. So let's say, as an example, Clyde, you have a goal to spend about $1,200 on Christmas gifts for 2021. It's a lot easier to say, wow, how can I turn that into a small goal? That's like $100 a month. Or you could say, you know what, that's no more than about $3.30 a day. So make the big goals, turn those into small goals. Secondly, you have to automate, but don't ignore, Clyde. So here's what I mean by that. On the first of every month, my wife and I actually pay ourselves an allowance. So there's an automatic transfer that goes from the joint account to each of our respective separate accounts. And when you automate systems within your household, you just have to set it one time and forget it. And last but not least, Clyde, you have to count your money, because if you don't count your money, how else can you keep score? And we all know when you count your money, that hard-earned money that is, and give it proper instructions, you can make it behave.
Okay, so I understand you say there's a secret weapon that most people underuse regarding their finances. What is that?
Yes, sir. That secret weapon is discipline, Clyde, and it comes in two forms. We have productive discipline, but then we have destructive discipline. So productive discipline, that is where you engage in a behavior that has a positive outcome for your personal finances. However, on the other side of that, you can engage in destructive behaviors, which of course contribute to some of those negative outcomes that we experience on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to that discipline, it really boils down to behavior, and financial success is based more on behavior than actually intellect, Clyde.
So, Al, you say that as we're making plans for 2021 and executing those plans, it's also good to look back to 2020, right?
That is so correct, Clyde. You have to have a baseline from which to measure success. So at the end of 2020, ask yourself these questions. What was my savings rate? What was the balance in my emergency fund? How much money am I contributing per month to my retirement account? When you ask yourself these types of questions, you, of course, can establish a baseline for 2020 from which you can measure success in 2021. And if you want to take it a step further, what was your net worth at the end of 2020 in contrast to what you hope your net worth will be at the end of 2021?
Got it. Lots of good advice there. People need more advice from you, more information from you. How can they connect?
People can connect via GameTimeBudgeting.com or just call the office. That number is 513-813-3275.
But whatever you do, Al, be sure to make sure that your money behaves, right?
Definitely, definitely, without question. Hey, that's the theme for this year, Clyde. Make your money behave.
Okay, Al, thanks so much for talking to us today. Mona?
Well, here in the Tri-State, we have a rich distilling history, and the Bourbon Society of Greater Cincinnati is bringing that history and passion to life. Allie spoke to one of the co-founders of the group to learn more.
So for people who don't know what the Bourbon Society of Greater Cincinnati is, what is it?
So it's a group where you come and drink bourbon, have fun. But it's a collective of local people. But what we do is we just get people together, education, social, we do some private barrels, but for almost 7 years, we've done a monthly meeting the second Monday of each month. And we've had master distillers, regular distillers that are new. We've had historians, steamboat historians. We've done some nonprofit things. So it's just a really fun social group.
So how do you guys typically communicate? Is that via Facebook? Are you sending out, emails? What does that look like?
Well, you'll see if you get on Facebook and search Bourbon Society of Greater Cincinnati, you're going to see this huge group. It's got 8,000 people in it. It's how I started the group, but it's become a de facto local bourbon discussion page. We don't do sales on there because Facebook doesn't allow sales. So it's pure education, sharing, what they found around the way, experiences at bars, stuff like that. That's one. My members, I have a monthly newsletter that people can sign up for to get some information. And then I have a members only page on Facebook that I communicate with them about the private barrel picks, the meetings, especially right now with COVID, we've had to pivot to virtual. So they all have to meet me in a secret location to pick up some samples. So we're kind of, lightweight bootlegging a little bit, having some fun, but
bring it back to George Remus days.
a little bit of the Remus days of, we tell you where to go and how to show up, and then come and get it and go.
It keeps it exciting, right? And I think one of the things, looking through the Facebook page, it has about 8,000 people in the group. I don't think I've ever seen a Facebook page that has as much engagement from the followers and those who are participating than I've seen on any other page. How does that happen, and how does that make you feel, knowing that you kind of were you're the one that launched this, right?
it feels fun. My wife Robin is the better half. People that know Robin, she's in the bourbon industry as well, and there's times she tells me to take a step back and look at what she created. But I have to also give a shout out to Chad Finney, Butch Wilburn, and Mark Collins, the original four pillars of when we put our heads together and made this more of a formal group. Now it's just Mark Collins and myself, so they deserve a ton of credit as well. But it's really cool because I get to work with bars and restaurants on collaborations for bourbon barrels. I want to do some dinners when this COVID is gone. I have this master plan of doing 5 or 6 local chefs and getting a barrel and basing that dinner around that barrel and then raising money for charity. So it's word of mouth, because I feel like that's how people get truly passionate and engaged, is if a friend they trust says, hey, you gotta go check this experience out.
Yeah.
They're more likely to come back.
So what's the one thing that you want people to know about the Bourbon Society of Greater Cincinnati?
The one thing I want them to know is we're not just a Facebook page. We're a physical group that meets. We've met for 7 years. We have a fantastic family feel. And I think that when you come and meet people, there's no need to be shy. There's bottles on other tables that you can go get a pour of something you might not have ever tried before.
You said you'll have events in the future, but right now you're still doing a lot of virtual stuff. Again, when can people expect to have that next virtual meeting?
Believe it or not, my next virtual meeting is tonight, January 11th, with Bardstown Bourbon Company. And then whatever that second Monday of February is, will be the next one. But those are accessible via Zoom for my membership, but we're trying to stream those on Facebook so some people can at least, watch along and see what we do.
Todd, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, and right now I want to welcome Allie into the conversation. Allie, how'd you find out about this group, first of all? And what do you think draws so many people to bourbon?
That's two big loaded questions. So the first one, as to how I found it, I think part of that is just, number one, getting started in the whiskey industry and just finding that passion for it with local bars and restaurants around here. And then it just popped up on my feed one day. So I said, you know what, I got to figure out what this is. So I joined the group. Little did I know that it was actually Todd, who I had met prior, who was running the group. But in terms of as to how and why people love bourbon, and I think just whiskey in general, is, number one, like Todd said, the community of it, but it's kind of also a little bit of an art too. And there are so many great distilleries in our area, and we do have such a really great, rich distilling history here that there's always something new to learn. And on top of that, the hunt itself is just really, really fun. And I think that's probably the best part of this group and why I kind of wanted to tell the story, because I belong to a lot of different Facebook groups, and I'm sure a lot of people do too. But when I look at the engagement on that page, there's at least 15 different posts in a day. And then from one post, you'll get 50 to 60 people commenting about it. So that engagement is really fun, because everybody has a different experience and a different palette and goes about it in a little different way. So that's what drew me to the story.
So 8,000 folks on that page, Allie, a lot of members, obviously. What does membership include?
Good question. So the Facebook page is actually different than the membership itself. So if you want to sign up for the membership, that's actually $125 a year for the first 2 years. And then after 2 years, it's $100. But that gives you the exclusive access into the private barrel picks, those monthly meetings that Todd had talked about, and the social events with guest speakers to talk about the tastings and to talk about their distilleries. And then there are other things like discounts for miscellaneous bourbon events and dinners, and that will be obviously to come later in the future. So just something to think about. If not, check them out on Facebook if you're interested in the whiskey world, and just to join in on the conversation and maybe find something that you didn't know was out there.
Another great story. Things I didn't know, Allie. Thank you so much for bringing it to us. We appreciate it.
And coming up here on Cincy Lifestyle, it is National Milk Day, and we're going to talk about some extraordinary recipes that the whole family can enjoy. Yep, even those who are lactose intolerant. A chef from the Oprah Winfrey Network will walk us together through her favorites. We'll have all that and more on the other side of the break.
Well, welcome back. Well, each year on January 11th, we observe National Milk Day to celebrate the creamy qualities of real dairy milk. And joining us today is Chef Jocelyn Delk Adams. She's going to share some special recipes for everyone in the family, including those who are lactose intolerant. Take a look.
Hello everyone, I'm Jocelyn Delk Adams, TV personality and cookbook author, and I am so excited to be celebrating National Milk Day in January with my partner Lactaid. Of course you love milk because it gives you those incredible nutrients and vitamins that we all love, you know, packed with calcium. But you know, in my family I have so many people who are lactose intolerant, and so it's really crucial that they're still able to enjoy amazing recipes just without the lactose, which is why I love Lactaid, because it's still 100% real milk without the lactose and any artificial growth hormones. And I'm excited to share some incredible sweet and savory recipes that you can make with the family all year round. First, I have these incredible red velvet donuts. They've got that hint of chocolate flavor and there's a bit of honey in there, but it's also the rich and moist flavor that comes from Lactaid, 100% real milk, that makes these just incredible. And moving here, I have a wonderful dessert that's perfect for everyone in your family. I am the queen of sweets, so I have this incredible hot milk cake, which is like a vintage recipe, but it's absolutely incredible for any type of celebrations like birthdays, anniversaries. It's a very versatile cake, but it's so fluffy, it's so delicious, and I love to serve this especially for those people in my family who are lactose intolerant, so they can have a slice of this, enjoy it, and not have any of that stomach discomfort. And lastly, I have this creamy tomato soup. It's so luscious, it melts in your mouth, and it's got this rich, incredible creamy texture that comes from Lactaid, which is 100% real milk, just without the lactose. So you don't have to worry about any of that stomach discomfort. These, you know, we are just using, you know, you can use whole milk, you can use 2% milk. Lactaid has an incredible catalog of so many options for those who are lactose intolerant. So you can definitely find ways to either cut back in any type of way. You know, they've got you covered. If you want to find any more recipes that are lactose free, you can head straight to lactaid.com.
If you've adopted a pet, you know there are a lot of photos to look through, but there are always some that stand out. Allie went to a Louies Legacy photo shoot to learn why these photos are so important.
Puppies, kittens. Us humans love looking at photos and videos of animals for their pure cuteness. And animal shelters make it a priority to capture those epic head tilts with the hopes of melting the hearts of future animal owners. Studies have shown that high-quality photos of animals that are in focus, clear, and with little to no background distraction significantly improves an animal's chances of getting adopted. And Louies Legacy is a shelter that works with professionals like Carol to capture a wide range of animals.
We mostly do kittens and puppies. In the past, I have done bunnies. We do rescue bunnies. I've done 2 pot-bellied pigs up in my studio, and hearing a pig carried up the stairs to my studio was very interesting. And then we also did a pony.
Every animal is different with their own unique personality. And it's Carol's job to capture that while using a collection of tricks and treats.
But they're just various bird calls. And some are soft and some are really obnoxious.
I make a lot of weird noises to get dogs' attention. Cats and kittens, not so much. You just play with them. Puppies can sometimes get a little overwhelmed by loud noises. They get a little scared. So I take it a little bit more quiet approach with them. Get toys out, trying to make them comfortable. As far as animal behavior, they may think it's a giant eye looking at them, and so they feel a little bit threatened or anxious by it. So sometimes I'll put the camera down next to them, put treats on the camera, and click when they're touching the camera so they know it's not a giant monster coming to steal their soul.
Having an understanding of animal behavior is key to successful photos. And once that's mastered, the photo shoots are enhanced with themes to make each litter playfully stand out.
And sometimes the themes are kind of wacky. We did a wine theme puppy litter one time, and the foster had access to this giant wine glass. So we put padding in there, and we would put the puppies in the wine glass. And we were very careful making sure it wasn't going to tip over, because like I said, the safety and health of our pets are foremost in our mind.
Also add some puppy and kitten cuddles to the mix, and you end up with a pretty fun and satisfying photo shoot.
That's the great part, is you get to meet all these awesome animals. You get to see their personalities, and a lot of people think that a dog or a cat that goes into rescue are damaged goods, and they're not. It's just a byproduct of what they've grown up with. So seeing that these are truly great animals, great dogs, great cats, make a great family member, that, and then also hearing from fosters that get their pets adopted, and someone saying, it's their picture that really brought me in and really made me want to adopt that dog.
And that is Cincy Lifestyle for this Monday, January 11th. Thank you for hanging out with us. Wherever you go today, whatever you do, be sure to make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before, or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, make it a great day.